I should not look away for that long. Alright guys, welcome back to Watch Candy, and today is a very, very special day. Not only are we going to talk about one of my favorite things in the whole wide world, which is watches, obviously, but we're also going to talk about another one of my favorite things, which is Mario Kart. If you guys didn't know, a whole new Mario Kart game came out, and that's all I've been doing aside from editing and working and, I've been doing important stuff too, don't worry, don't worry. One of the great things about the new game is that there's a whole bunch of other new characters that aren't in any of the Mario Kart games, and that got me thinking, what watches would these characters wear if they were, real? So that's what we're going to talk about today. This is part one of a series. I've chosen a handful of characters and we're just going to go through and I'm going to talk about what watches I think they would wear and why. I am so excited for this. So if you didn't know, some of the characters have unlockable costumes, which essentially just changes up their outfit. So I've paired some watches with that character and costume specifically. Some watches are with just the whole character in general, just to clarify. All right, kicking off the series, we're starting with who else? Mario, of course. And I've chosen a watch that I think is perfect for him. You guys may remember it came out a few years ago. It's the Mario Kart Tag Heuer collab. Specifically the tourbillon version. I know there's a connected version, but specifically the tourbillon version, and here's why. Listen, it's Mario. He has a whole franchise named after him, game after game after game. He's the face of Nintendo. So, I've always gotten the gist that he's a little bit full of himself, he's the focus of attention the whole time. Everyone's talking about Mario this, Mario that, so he's got a bit of an ego, and what better way to show off than to have a watch with your own face on it, and an expensive one, might I add. This one right now is trading around $25,000. I think it came out at like 26 or something. Listen, guys, it's Mario. It's Mario, right? He's not the bad guy, but he's always the good guy. So, of course, it got to his head. So I think when this watch came out, he probably bought it immediately, and probably several of them, just in case he lost one, or I'm sure he gave them out to like his friends and things, just to be like, oh yes, look at me, this is a gift from me, it has my face on it, love me, praise me. And this goes for Mario in any of the outfits. I think this is something he never takes off. He probably showers in it too, and the strap is probably really gross because of it. I'm sure he likes it because the strap, although it does kind of look like a tire, those somewhat hexagonal shapes definitely remind him of turtle shells, and he wears that strap knowing that that's just what he throws and stomps on all day, and he's the hero, right? Although he thinks Mario Kart is better than Formula 1, which, I mean, next, we're going with a new character, and this one is very, very popular among new Mario Kart players. This is the cow. Easily one of the cutest non-playable characters in the whole franchise until now. It's an adorable cow. She is so cute. I mean, look at that big old nose. Who can't love that? Little teeny horns. So I thought long and hard about what watch I want to pair with her, because she's such a beloved character. She doesn't fight, she's not a hero, she's not a villain, she just kind of exists in her own happy little sphere, eating grass with her friends, often getting in the way of driving. And so I chose a watch for her that I thought kind of resembled a very relaxed and green nature. And that is none other than the Huff G-Shock collab that came out a couple years ago. And I think this watch is absolutely perfect. That green dial, it's like a limey, grassy green with the kind of clear, transparent, translucent case paired with that canvas strap, I think is a perfect watch. Not only is it good for larger wrists, everything about it just gives kind of like a outdoorsy farm feel. And it has the water resistance and durability to go along with, her cow things, walking through maybe water or mud. And not really having to worry about what she accidentally like bumps her leg on, because she definitely wears it on one of her front legs, you know, the ones she drives with. So coming up next, Rosalina. And I went in a slightly different direction with my choices for her. And yes, choices. So to me, Rosalina needs 2 watches. She needs a daily, and then she needs one for when she's being all princessy and fancy and stuff. She doesn't seem like the type of person to hoard and have a big old collection, but she does seem fashionable enough to have different watches for different types of occasions, and she seems to either have dressed down racing or dressed up princessiness. So the first watch I've chosen for her, this is her daily, and it came little to no debate on my part. I think this is a very natural choice for her. It's the Polar Lights Moon Swatch from Swatch. This is for when she's dressed down, she's not going out, she's not being fancy in her dresses. This is for when she's either racing or chilling at home wherever she lives with the little star guys. And this moon swatch is absolutely perfect for her. It has that Aurora Borealis look with that greenish, bluish case. It's gorgeous. That deep, deep blue sparkly dial with the blue accented bezel on there. It's perfect for her. I do believe she wears it on the rubber strap that you can buy from Swatch. She doesn't wear it on the factory strap, not because she has any particular grievance against the strap, but you know, she liked the rubber one more. Listen, you know you're in too deep with watches if you're pairing watches to characters and people that literally do not exist. And with Rosalina, I've paired the Cartier Clash, not the Crash, the Clash. And I didn't know this watch even existed until I was doing some research for Roz. But when I came across it, I knew that this was the perfect choice for when she was going and being her princessy fancy self. It has all sorts of like little points and edges, which I think she would appreciate because she has so much of that star shape aesthetic going on. I mean, look at her earrings. She has lots of points with her character design. She is a very pointy character, even with her dress. So I think this watch is something she would like. I think she would really love the little purple accent. And I think this is something fit for a princess, specifically a princess who lives in the stars and also is kind of cool and badass in races. Coming up next, we've got Dry Bones. And Dry Bones is another character that is beloved by many. You often see him in Bowser's castle. He's doing his little dry bones thing. If you knock him, he puts himself back together because he's a skeleton. And for Dry Bones, I've chosen a watch that I think reminds him a little bit of home, you know, Bowser's castle. And I've chosen for him the Coulson Limited Edition Pro Pilot by Oris. Now, this watch isn't necessarily volcano themed, it's more wildfire themed. I think that gradient dial from black to red to orange paired with that carbon fiber case is very, very much something that he would look at and remember the good old times, remember being home with the lava and the rocks and the other dry bones, and I think that's something that he would absolutely wear. Absolutely, he would. Aside from the colors and the material, it is quite down to earth in a more field style with the big numerals and the only complication being the date. You know, he wouldn't be afraid to knock it about because of that carbon fiber. If he does happen to fall apart, you know, turn into a pile of bones, he doesn't have to worry about the watch being all dinged up once he's put himself back together. Next, we have another character that is new to the game and has greatly risen in popularity since. It's Sting Bee, which is literally just a bee. They used to be little bad guys that you would have to avoid in certain levels. They just come and, you know, fly into you and sting you. Listen, you may be wondering, hey, this is a bee. It doesn't have a wrist to put a watch on, so why are we pairing a watch to it? Well, listen, I don't think these bees would wear a watch. I think they need a place to live. And because of that, I have chosen the Jacob & Co. Fleur de Jardin, or I don't really actually know how you say it. But listen, this watch is big enough that they can fly around, chill on the little gemstone flowers. There's even the big butterfly tourbillon in there. I don't know, I can see the little bee flying around in there. I think it would make a great home for him. That, you know, enough said. That's the watch for him. All right, to wrap things up, we're doing one last character. It's Toad. If you guys don't know, which you probably do by now, is that Toad's my favorite. And I have chosen a watch specifically for the Explorer Toad costume. You can see he's got his little light, he's got his little backpack, he's ready to go, he's ready to go on an adventure, so he needs something not only durable, but something that maybe helps him with different time zones. He needs a watch that has been tested through time to be able to withstand the places he's going. And of course, he needs the Rolex Explorer 2. I believe that there is no other choice than the Rolex Explorer 2, specifically the model 16570. Not only is it made for explorers, which is something little Toad is gonna need. Like, come on, it's white and red. That's for Toad. It was made for him. Maybe Rolex didn't know it, but they were making this watch for Explorer Toad, obviously. It is a little bit larger. It is 40 millimeters, so it's gonna be a bit big on his teeny tiny little wrists. However, I think that's something he really doesn't super care about, especially since he has a backpack half of his size. And listen, I'm a little biased towards Toad, so how could I not give him the best of the best, right? And obviously he deserves a Rolex, and obviously this is the Rolex for him. Anyway, those are my picks so far. I do have a lot more coming. Like I said, this is only part one of several. There are tons of new characters and character costumes to go over. So if I didn't mention your favorite character, maybe drop it in the comments and I'll get to it in the next video. So join Watch Candy so you don't miss the next parts that are coming out. I am going to get to your favorite characters, just give me time, there's a lot to cover. Anyway, I'm really happy that you guys made it here. Like I said, watches in Mario Kart are my favorite things in the whole world, so it makes me really happy to talk about them. Nice to see you guys, see you later!